Good morning and a happy Wednesday morning and welcome to video 1. You guys, I just had to touch on this. It's the fact that Harry has become literally the spare again, okay? And I've got everything you need to back up my claim. So let's jump in and get there for video 1. Let's go. Now, I talked about this article with my Patreon people yesterday because Harry gave an interview at Kensington Palace like a month before he met Meghan. And he basically said, there's nothing worse than going through a period in your life where you're making a difference and then suddenly, for whatever reason, whether it's media or public perception, you drop off. You want to make a difference, but nobody's listening to you. And basically, he predicted what was going to happen to him because he has dropped off. He manifested himself. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what's happening. Nobody is listening to Harry anymore. Now, let me just remind you guys of what Harry used to be before he met Meghan, before he ran off from the royal family. Here is Harry and here is William, and they are going out to meet the crowds. They still had a fabulous relationship. They were talking, they were laughing, and I want you to see the crowds. Look at this. No wonder Harry was one of the most popular royals. The palace PR machine did an absolutely fabulous job covering up his drinking, covering up his drug use, covering up all the horrible things going on in his life, the fact that he was jealous about William. Everything had been covered up by the palace PR machine. Harry, as the spare for William, had yet to figure out what to do with himself. And now, as the article points out, in 2024, he still is struggling to find his footing and figure out what to do with himself. But this is what he misses. What you're looking at here is what he used to have. Now, supposedly, Harry and Meghan went out to a steakhouse to talk about the success of their Nigerian tour. I think we all know that that's really not true. And to celebrate their 6th wedding anniversary. And I have to tell you, when I look at the picture of them sitting at the table, let me tell you what I see. I see Harry shoved into a corner and Meghan commanding the table. That's what I see. That, by the way, is the wife of the CEO of the Paramount exec and the Paramount exec. That's who they were having their anniversary dinner with. People couldn't help but notice that the two of them put out no public statement about the fact that it was their 6th wedding anniversary. And I firmly believe that that's because they are not happy. They don't care to acknowledge their wedding anniversary. They have other things on their plate. You know what I'm saying? And I wonder, as Harry is sitting in the corner like a child being chastised, if he seriously remembers what his life used to be, or the fact that even the media has picked up that he is now the spare in his own marriage to Meghan Markle, and here's the proof to back it up. Harry tries to stay on all the time like Meghan does, but he can't hold it. He can't maintain it. I mean, really, look at his face while Meghan's taking her time writing in this. He just doesn't look happy. When you see him walking with Meghan while they were in Nigeria, he doesn't look happy. Meghan is able to plaster this fake smile on her face and leave it there at all times, but Harry can't. As a matter of fact, Harry looked very anxious and upset for most of the trip. So I'm going to show you guys some pictures and video so that you can really see what it is I'm talking about. For instance, Meghan here is smiling. Harry's looking up at the camera and quite frankly does not look happy. Could that be because this is when Meghan was being rude and was pulling him away from the kids who had a gift for him? You guys remember this? I showed this to you. Look at him. Look at his face. He doesn't look happy at all. To me, he looks stressed and highly embarrassed. Okay, now here they are walking into the dinner or the thing where Meghan was going to be crowned a Nigerian princess. Do you guys remember this? It's all in the body language. Look at Harry. He shakes their hands. Watch him. And then he just steps back and stands there while Meghan walks through doing introductions. He's just standing there. Once they get inside, it's pretty obvious that Meghan is getting all of the attention and that Harry is an afterthought. Look at the anger on his face. You just can't miss that, all right? Look at his face here. He's looking out over the crowd. And of course, what is Meghan doing? She's smiling at the camera. We know she can spot a camera at 10 paces. And when you see video of him walking through the event, the look on his face says it all. He looks absolutely miserable. And this was just one of the events. Now let's move on to the dinner where she wore the tube top that was supposedly a copycat of Diana. I want you to look at this video. She is standing in the front. Harry literally reached down and touches her arm, which, by the way, is the same signal that she gives to him when she wants him to move over, and he does move over. But she gives him this signal. Here it is a little closer. Look at his hands. She gives him this same signal, and she doesn't move, and he is stuck behind her. And you can see from the look on his face that he is most unhappy. You can clearly see as they're asking to stand during the rendition of God Save the King, which, by the way, neither one of them sang to. Maybe Meghan didn't know the words. She could have Googled them. We all know that. But the point is, Harry, from beginning to end, looks miserable. Now, wait. Here it gets better. So Harry is looking around. As usual, he looks upset. Meghan is smiling. And at one point, and I showed this to you in another video, he goes to hand water to the people behind him. And he looks all dejected and upset. And Meghan is like, Harry. And Harry leans over and she whispers something in his ear. Probably, hey, Harry, you're on camera. Would you mind smiling a little bit? At which time he looks up, he sees the camera, and he's like, oh, yeah, okay. Oh my God. Here it gets even worse. They get up on the stage where they're handed gifts. And if this doesn't illustrate my point, nothing will. Meghan Markle is accepting the gifts and handing them to Harry. So Harry is literally standing there holding the gifts. She's, holding the purse. You guys get what I'm saying? She's smiling and laughing. No, I want you to look at Harry's face. She's giving a speech. After he gives a 2-minute speech, she gives a 10-minute speech. And he just stands there with this look of utter disgust on his face. Now, I personally believe that despite the fact that they went delinquents, and I'm sure that contributed to it, this is probably why Meghan was acting the way she was with Harry. No hand holding. She's clomping to there. She's upset. Okay, let's move on now. For those of you who have not heard it, Meghan, the reason that all of this was taped was because Meghan it's being reported, is going to do another Netflix show. That's right. She's doing another thing about how she has discovered her Nigerian roots, and it's being reported, allegedly, that she is going to be discussing things, things that she's been accused of. In other words, it's another Netflix docuseries where she wants to clear the air by telling people the truth about things. I don't think that's going to go over well, what that tells me is that they haven't learned anything. You can see the cameras everywhere they go, no matter what they're doing, and everybody had assumed it was all for Invictus. But from what we're being told on the side, that is not the case. This is actually going to be for another documentary, Meghan discovering her Nigerian roots. That's right, because they haven't learned that their popularity spiraled down after the last Netflix docuseries. But I got to tell you, at this point, I don't think Meghan really cares if her popularity goes down. Really, I think she just wants to be a household name, and she doesn't care if she gets bad publicity or good publicity, as long as she gets publicity. All right, you guys, hit the like button and the subscribe button to help me with my algorithm. Don't forget to leave those comments, make them good, and follow me now on over to video number 2. Let's go.